Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the 6:30 Prime News on My Media Prime. This is the Friday edition. Thanks for choosing My Media Prime. We are live from the country's economic capital. My name is Genda Peldrin Blanche King Christian Cardinal Tomi, who was kidnapped by alleged separatists on Thursday evening in the Northwest region, has been released. The 19-year-old Archbishop Emeritus of Douala was traveling with about 12 other persons, including the traditional ruler of Zor village, Fonsem being low, the first when they were abducted. It is still unclear whether or not the phone has been released. 6th November 1982, the then Prime Minister Paul Biya, who was the Prime Minister then, succeeded the first ever president of Cameroon, Amadou Ahidjo. Today, 6th November 2020, is celebrating 38 years in power. This anniversary comes at a time when there is much demanded from the head of state. Details in the following report.
Mes chers jeunes compatriotes,
Head of State President Paul Biya is celebrating 38 years in power as President of Cameroon. He succeeded the first ever President of Cameroon, Amadou Ahidjo, on November 6, 1982. He was the first Prime Minister of Cameroon from June 1975 to November 1982. He introduced political reforms within the context of the one-party system in the 1980s and accepted the introduction of multi-party politics in 1990. He has maintained close ties with France and other nations for political, socio-economic purposes. On June 12, 2006, he signed the Green Tree Agreement with Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, which formally ended the Bakassi Peninsula border dispute. In 2008, Cameroon was hit hard by an economic crisis. Riots broke out with citizens demanding price reduction. Biya has recorded several achievements and shortcomings. Cameroon has not gone into war, reasons why she earned a spot in the Global Peace Index rankings as one of the peaceful nations in the world, according to 2008-2019 rankings. The country enjoyed relative peace till 2016 when the Anglophone crisis was raised. Many have argued that the escalation of the crisis in late 2017 is an evident failure of the regime. Over 3,000 people have died in Cameroon, according to rights group, since the escalation of the crisis. The country keeps record of gross human rights violation, insecurity and economic crisis as at November 6, 2020. The anniversary of its ascension to power is usually marked with colorful celebrations by supporters, members of government and militants of the ruling CPDM party across the country. The 38th anniversary coincides with the second anniversary of his 7th mandate following his re-election in the disputed October 2018 polls. President Paul Biya maintains the position as Africa's second longest ruling leader, only defeated by Teodoro Obiangema of Equatorial Guinea, who has been in power for close to 41 years. In Bamenda, celebrations to mark the 38th anniversary of the head of state, His Excellency President Paul Biya, came with the promise of an accelerated and efficient local government and social movement, enhancing resources and the well-being of the population. Details with Charles Kebwa from Bamenda. We'll revisit the report from our reporter in the Northwest region. Meantime, let's visit the Southwest region to see how celebrations were taken, or how people celebrated the 38th anniversary of the head of state. Crise has details from Biya.
Celebrated every November 6 is President Biya's ascension to power. This year, unlike past years, the celebration was peculiar in that it served as a sensitization platform for these electorates who have been chosen as candidates for the December 6 regional election. While addressing these councillors, Honorable Emilia Lifaka, Member of Parliament for Biya Rural Constituency, called on all councillors to put aside their personal differences and ensure that they secure all votes at the level of the Biya constituency for the CPDM. By so doing, they will accompany their national president to accomplish the decentralization process that is necessary for local development.
We hope that as a party today, since the conditions, health conditions, and of course the mourning conditions that we are in our region, does not permit us to celebrate in the way we normally would have loved to do. The least we could do is bring our councillors together. What is happening today in Biya is happening in all the other 7 subdivisions within Fcfa, to sensitize our councillors, to start preparing their minds, to start preparing them to this very great day, the 6th of December, that they will have the privilege of being the first councillors to vote for the regional house, so that they accompany the head of state in this great vision of putting the regional house in place.
In his opening remark, the mayor of the Biya Council, David Mafani, did not also fail to reiterate on the need for councillors to mobilize behind the CPDM, while outlining some achievement by the national president of the CPDM party.
We have local development. You know, before he came, schools were not supported as they are today all over our country. So in the educational field, he has done quite a lot. In fact, in those days, we had just one university. Today, we have the state universities and private institutions of learning all over. Equally in the health sectors, we have had a new system where health has been taken down to the local communities. So I want to say he has achieved a lot, even though a lot still remains to be achieved.
Also present during this commemoration of Biya's 28th anniversary was the Member of Parliament for the Biya Urban Constituency, Honorable Malumba Esembe. A moment of silence was also observed in honor of the school children.
The 11 teachers kidnapped on Tuesday, November 3, 2020 in Biya division of the northwest region of the country have been freed. They were freed yesterday following interventions from the local population and a separatist activist who claims a role in their release. Details with Eileen Sama in the following report.
The 11 kidnapped teachers are tutors of 2 Presbyterian schools in Kumbo, Presbyterian Primary School, PS Kumbo, and Presbyterian Comprehensive High School, PCHS Kumbo. Reports say a US-based Cameroonian separatist activist, Eric Tato, revealed that armed men grouped under the name of Biya warriors, said to be loyal to US-based Cameroonian separatist leader Samuel Kmer Sako, were responsible for the abduction, but have now been freed as confirmed by the moderator of the PCC. Tato Eric went further to outline the role he played in the release of the 11 teachers, which was talks with the Biya warriors, given that he also advocated for an end to school boycott in English-speaking regions of Cameroon before the school here kicked off. Prior to their release, the Right Reverend Funky Samuel Foba, moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, in a press release signed on November 3, condemned the act, describing it as one that continuously deprives children of their fundamental rights to education, and passionately appealed to the perpetrators of the ungodly act to release the captives. The rampant kidnapping of students and teachers by armed men in the 2 restive regions has now become the order of the day.
The British High Commission in Cameroon, together with its partners, have begun distributing hygiene and sanitation kits to some inhabitants across the country. The campaign, which took off today, dubbed UK in Cameroon COVID-19 Relief Caravan, is expected to reach out to over 10,000 persons. Darling Gonde was part of this exercise, which took off today. She compiled the following.
As part of their social responsibility, the British High Commission in Cameroon, together with its partners, have begun delivering a collective donation of COVID-19 personal preventive equipment and sanitation materials to some suburban communities across the National Triangle. Tondo Village is their first bus stop, with the locals having come as far as PK 27, 30 and 33. The gifts were handed over to the respective representatives of the entire beneficiaries in their very presence. Talking to the press, The British High Commissioner for Cameroon gives a clearer backdrop for this initiative.
First thing is to provide practical assistance. The second thing is to raise awareness. I think, which I really like about this initiative, is the way in which it's been designed to highlight the importance of inclusivity. Final thing, which I really would like to highlight, and I'm very proud of it, is the solidarity which we are demonstrating practically today by working in particular with the British companies.
The gifts donated include dignity kits, face masks, bars of soap, hand sanitizers, tap-adaptable buckets and detergents are geared towards meeting the needs of the people as well as eradicating COVID-19 in this part of the country. This health official adheres.
The Haut-Commissaire of British in Cameroon came to rescue us by giving us those gifts to try to stop the COVID, the pandemic. My impression is an impression of satisfaction.
In appreciating the kind gesture, these beneficiaries had this to say.
Merci pour les gens qui sont venus nous encourager.
We are very thankful for what UK did for this village, and we say that it is only what we receive, but the presence of the High Commissioner himself.
By the end of the handing over ceremony, the British High Commissioner further disclosed that from Tonde, the caravan moves further to Biya, Limbe, Yaoundé and Garua with the aim of reaching out to over 10,000 persons within the aforementioned localities with particular interest on the physically challenged, internally displaced persons, women and children.
In the report that follows, Nora Kakebi confirms a fatal road accident has claimed the life of a lady and badly injured a bike rider in Mbuda. Let's now get her report.
The market population of Mbuda yesterday witnessed a sad incident where a woman seemingly in her late 30s was crushed to death by a truck forcing its way into the market area. The truck was transporting cement and this took place just around the Mbuda market entrance. Sources say the unfortunate incident happened when a motorbike rider transporting a woman attempted to overtake the truck and unfortunately found himself under the truck, leaving the woman dead while he himself sustained severe injuries and is currently receiving treatment in the hospital. The market population was angry as one of them attributed this unfortunate incident to the high degree of urban disorder and laxity on the part of the municipal authorities in the town of Mbuda. According to him, the council is not taking responsibility in organizing affairs as they should, but rather leave everything to chance. He emphasized that trucks are not supposed to enter into the market space because it puts them at risk. He goes further to express their frustrations and desperation of the market population caused by the council's lack of concern of how things should run.
C'est que vraiment, je vais parler, jusqu'à parler de la communauté urbaine de Bouddha. Ceux qui contrôlent, alors le jour du marché, quand ils sont en train d'entrer avec le camion, puisque au cas où nous sommes déjà désespérés, on ne sait pas comment nous pouvons survivre avec ce genre d'allure. Puisque bon, ces camions, avant d'entrer ici, avec l'autorisation de qui? Monter au marché avec l'autorisation de qui? Et les commerçants sont là. Hein? Ils payent le patin, ils payent les tickets. Tout le monde qui est assis là paye les tickets. On ne sait pas comment la voiture se retrouve dans le marché et maintenant déraper et tuer les gens. On ne sait pas comment ça.
Meanwhile, the law enforcement officers were quick to visit the scene of the accident. In order to give a report, the truck driver was equally apprehended and is under custody at the Gendarmerie Brigade in Boda.
You're on to over 6:30 Prime News on My Major Prime. Member of Parliament for Fako East constituency, Honorable Etombi Kombe Gladys, has called on youths of Fako division to acquire professional skills in order to generate and gain meaningful employment. She made this call during a 2-day youth conference organized in Limbe to assist youths create jobs and eradicate unemployment. Details with Kumar Norimbom in the following report.
Over 120 youths from across the nation have benefited from a 2-day training organized by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Fako East constituency, Honorable Etombi Kombe Gladys, to assist them create meaningful jobs, thus fighting poverty. The youth conference, which took place under the theme Preparing Youths for Opportunities and Decent Jobs, brought together youths from across Fako division and the Southwest region at large. The launching ceremony of the 2-day conference was presided over by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Fako East constituency, with the Senior Divisional Officer for Fako, Emmanuel Ngambalidu, as the patron of the conference. Honorable Gladys Itombi Kmer called on participants to open their minds and hearts to the various facilitators, speakers, and panelists who were carefully selected as best in their various specializations.
When you have the right mindset about work, the right mindset about life, the right mindset about things that happen around you, you will discover that a lot of things will be better for you. And we believe that bringing them together and giving them this opportunity to learn from other people's experiences is going to help the youth a lot. And the most important part is the networking that we are going to create in these forums to help them to continue to build their dreams and their visions.
Participants were drilled in entrepreneurship, capacity building, networking, health education, horticulture, just to mention the these few. In one of the presentations, the Divisional Delegate for Youth Affairs and Civic Education for Fako, Isaac Ikombembua, disclosed to participants some programs offered by the government of Cameroon to assist youths gain self-employment, such as the 3 years plan for youths between the ages of 15 and 35. He reiterated that in order for any youth to benefit from the 3-year special youths plan, youths must be registered in the National Youth Observation Chart.
I've learned that you can create opportunities with things around you. That is one thing we learned. We had speakers here the other day, yesterday. We had speakers who came to encourage us, to drill us on how to go. Today we have been taught about how to get a career, how to have a dream and make your dreams come true.
The conference is coming at a time when the government is facing serious issues of unemployment as a result of the ongoing Anglophone crisis in Northwest and South.
Let's now revisit Bamenda. President Paul Biya celebrates 38 years in power. Our reporter Charles Kevoa from the Northwest region paints a picture of the 38th anniversary today.
Celebrations to mark the 38th anniversary of His Excellency President Paul Biya's ascension to the Supreme Magistracy in Bamenda was celebrated with the promise of an accelerated and efficient local development, understanding the region's cultural, economic, and social movement aimed at enhancing resources and the well-being of the population.
And I do believe he has a couple of years to still as president before next elections, which I do pray he continues with a very cold heart to manage the affairs of this country, and especially the challenges we are facing in Northwest and Southwest now that has actually for the past 3 to 4 years has handicapped every other activity. I do pray that he has the wisdom to continue to manage that for peace to reign in our two regions.
Celebrating on the theme, let's mobilize behind President Paul Biya for advent of decentralization, guaranteeing local development in strengthening peace and national unity and the integration of the territory.
The people of the Northwest are people who are peace-loving and they need and are looking for peace right now. 2, very hard-working people. 3, the president is somebody who wants peace and who is looking for peace. We organize the national grand dialogue to obtain peace, and it's going on and on and on.
Holding exactly 1 month before the first ever elections of the regional house in the history of the country to be held December 6, 2020, allies, militants and Cameroonians were called to understand the approach of President Paul Biya, who is personally committed in the completion of the decentralization process.
Because he's somebody who has had, he takes his time. He understands, he prepares very well. And today, if you look at the theme of the celebration today, it's all about the advent of decentralization. And we know with the advent of decentralization, what does it mean? It means local development. That is reinforced local development. It means we're looking at the 3 wings of the government. We have the central government in Yaoundé, we have the regional government at the level of the region, and we have the local or the council or the municipal government at the level of the municipality.
In a motion of support, sympathizers and militants were called to remain strong and committed to give their full support to President Paul Biya in the long march towards decentralization process in Cameroon and the consolidation of national unity.
In sports, the Confederation of African Football has supported Fecafoot's latest decision of suspending indefinitely the Cameroon Professional League. In a recent letter addressed to Fecafoot, CAF says Fecafoot has the right owing to its statute. Details with sportsman Fabrice Keninga.
The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has written an affirmative note to the Cameroon Football Federation following their recent decision to dissolve the Cameroon Professional League. According to the letter signed by CAF's Secretary General, leagues or other groups affiliated to CAF member football associations are subordinate to the latter and must be recognized by her. The powers, rights and obligations of these groups are stipulated in the member statuses, and their own statuses and regulations must be approved by the member. CAF also questions the presence of mercenary officials on Cameroon territory, stating that she did not give any mandate for such. The fight between the Cameroon Football Federation and the country's professional league has been long-lasting. Due to the professional league commencing on Sunday, November 1, on General Pierre Semenge's command, some rules were broken. Players reportedly played without license, plus officials were brought from neighboring Equatorial Guinea. Following the chaos, Fecafoot took the decision to dissolve the league in accordance with a petition from 19 club presidents who voted to that effect. Fecafoot dissolved the professional league on Wednesday, November 4.
And that's it for Prime News. Thanks for being a part all through the week. Join us on Monday, 6:30, God willing, for another edition of Prime News on My Major Prime. The news was produced by Ewan Eline Olinga, coordinated by Lasha Kingsley. My name is Genda Pelgin Blanche King. Stay tuned to My Major Prime at 7 p.m. Kum Leonard and his crack team of analysts will be here to drill you on issues affecting Africa, the world, and Cameroon. Good night. Happy weekend. God bless Cameroon.